Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my full moon in Libra donation-based workshop. If you have not made a donation, you can do so now, or you can do so at the end of this video. Make whatever donation you feel called to. Follow the link. There's many different ways that you can do so. I know that each and every donation is so greatly appreciated. I look over every single one and I try to respond to each one that is made, and I appreciate you so much. I hope that these workshops are helpful for you. I pour my heart and soul into it to be as helpful as possible for those that I do work with one-on-one and for those that I haven't had the opportunity to do so yet with. This full moon, I'm just excited about it. The energy, Libra is an air sign, right? But there's just so many things going on right now that are really supporting excitement. The general theme is definitely our relationships, definitely love, not just love, but our relationships and how we relate to other people and the things that we want when it comes to our business relationships. All of those things are really coming to light right now. So this workshop is going to be kind of focused towards how we relate to other people, how we want to show up to other people, and just a little brief look into the past of like things that we can release and things that we can heal when it comes to our connections, because this is the theme. You've probably already been feeling it, and if you haven't, I bet that you're going to start paying attention to it now. But let's get into it. I'm really excited to share all of this with you. So firstly, I just want to mention a few things about the energy of this Libra full moon itself. So this is bringing a lot of harmony into all forms of relationships. So this could be love, partnership, friendship, business. However we relate to others, it's definitely bringing a lot of harmony in that department. It's also bringing like deeper understandings of ourselves, of one another, how we relate to each other, what we need, as well as like sudden realizations. So there could be some big shifts happening. You could see relationships going to a deeper level. You could see relationships breaking off and breaking up. You could see new people meeting and really beautiful relationships beginning. You could even see that people are more open to love now, like this feeling of being like, I'm ready to date again, or I'm going to put myself out there, that kind of thing. As well as people really making things known. Like I feel like there's going to be a lot of people really expressing, hey, I have feelings for you. Hey, I'd like to take you out. Like there's that, revelations as well. This is also an opportunity to really heal our deepest wounds when it comes to relationships and when it comes to our past experiences and really diving into those feels. This is a really good time to reflect. Full moons are good for releasing. There's no better time than now to really dive into that and really investigate it a little bit. So we're definitely be doing some of that together today. If you don't already have one, please go get a journal or a piece of paper and a pen. You can have a journal that you like write into that you keep, but I do want you to have at least one piece of paper that you're going to be able to get rid of so that you can write these things down. So if you don't have those already, you can pause this and come back to it, but make sure that you go and get it because we're moving into some journal prompts now, and I'm going to want you to do this with me as we're in real time. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to ask yourself and write down is, what are some old patterns in love that I no longer wish to repeat? What patterns am I ready to release? So this is a time to get really real with yourself. Again, you can pause this as many times as you want if you need a minute to sit with it. But what are the patterns that you recognize within yourself when it comes to love or when it comes to relationships of any form that you are ready to release? Be very honest with yourself. Be very honest. Maybe it's codependency. Maybe it's codependency. Maybe you've had, patterns in relationships where every time you fall in love, you fall into this codependent habit and you don't want to do that again. And you want to make space for more balance and boundaries, right? So just be really honest. Be honest with yourself. There's nothing you need to hide from you, and you're the only one who's going to see this. And you are really the only one who needs to be this real about it too. Like, you're the one who needs to know yourself the best. So don't shy away from anything that feels a little sticky. You should really dive into that now. Again, we're releasing it. We're not like claiming it and carrying it around. This is just a moment to be like, all right, I see you, and I'm ready to let that go. So the second question I want you to ask yourself and write down is, what is standing in the way of me experiencing harmony in relationships? All forms of relationships, not just love, but You can make separate ones. You can make one that comes to mind, whatever it is, whatever area of relation. But ask yourself, what is standing in the way of me experiencing harmony in relationships? What is it? What is it about yourself? What is it about your habits? What is it about the people that you're connecting with or your life? What is it? Again, be very honest with yourself. Pause this as many times as you need to like really investigate this question, because I want you to really sit with it. And then the next question that I want you to write down and ask yourself is, how does my highest self act, look, feel, and show up in relationships and connections? So all forms. I want you to make one for business, one for love, one for friendship, and one for family. And I want you to ask yourself, how does my highest self act, look, feel, show up in all of those different areas of life, in all those different types of relating? Again, pause this, take as much time as you need, but really lean into it. When you think of like your most ideal self, your highest self, the most aligned, high vibrational version of you, how do they act? How do they show up? What does it feel like? What does it feel like to be in a loving relationship? What does it feel like in partnership or with family, you know? Maybe you have really strong boundaries. Maybe you're really good at expressing your emotions, you know? But I want you to look like, what do you even look like? What do you look like, you know? What are the emotions that you're feeling? What do you do with your time? Like, get really in that and start to feel it, because I want you to start to realize that these are the things that you want to align with, right? This is also going to help you figure out what is standing in the way, or what are the things you do want to release, because anything that doesn't fall into that category of like what your highest self would do and what you are striving for is something we don't really have space for, okay? So again, be really honest about all of this. And then lastly, on this piece of paper, I would also like you to add anything else you want to release. In classic full moon fashion, just anything that comes to mind. It doesn't have to just be about relations. Anything you want to let go of at this time. Claim it, let it go, write it down, okay? This list we're actually going to destroy. If you've taken my workshops before for full moons, you know that we do this every time. We're going to burn it, we're going to bury it, or we're going to destroy it in whatever way that you feel you can do safely. If you're going to burn it, please do so safely. Please have a heat safe bowl. Please have like water on standby. Be very careful. Okay. And if you're not comfortable doing that, or if you don't have a safe way to do it, tear it up into tiny little pieces, like as many tiny pieces as you can. Oh, that's beautiful. It's just 444 on my timer. I love that. Angels are with us. So tear it up into tiny little pieces, and you can flush it, you can bury it, whatever you want to do. Maybe you feel more inclined to give it back to the earth instead of burning it. Maybe you're really connected to the element of fire. Whatever it is, make sure that you destroy it. Don't hold on to this. The whole point is to like put it on that piece of paper and then let it go. As you're burning it or destroying it, really imagine these things being removed from you. You're not holding on to them anymore. You put it on this piece of paper. They're either turning to smoke or they're going to the earth, whatever it is. You're no longer carrying that with you. Set that intention, sit with it, let it all go, okay? So this is the journal prompts that I want you to do. And you can come back to this and ask yourself this as many times as you want. You can make a list and burn it as many times as you want. Whatever you want to do, really. There's no wrong way to do this at all, but at least do it once where you write it down and burn it or destroy it, because we really need to utilize this energy so that we can move forward. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the energy of this week, because it's been a little wacky. I feel like people have been experiencing these like back and forth of like energy fluctuations, which is interesting because the first card that came up, which we're going to start getting into now, collective reading energy, is about resting and how we need it in order to show up. And like, just because maybe not everybody in our world needs the same amount of rest doesn't make it wrong or right, just what we need. But it feels a little wacky. I've been so tired. I've taken a huge break from social media, and I know a lot of other people have too, like really just unplugged for a few days, reflecting, you know. Full moons can do that, you know, like there are times when full moons give you tons of energy and you're just like ready to go. And there are times when it's like pulling you backwards a little bit to reflect, be still, to heal. I don't know if this does it any justice, but how big this coffee cup is a pretty good definition of just how much extra help I've needed to feel like somewhat normal in my energy levels lately. And I know I'm not the only one. I do feel like this is like recalibration always, always when the energy is changing and feeling a little funny. We're recalibrating. There's a lot of shifts going on right now. And if you are highly sensitive, which you probably are if you are here, you're feeling that. So just remember, whatever we are cooking up, whatever we're brewing, when it comes to how much rest we need, don't compare yourself to anyone else, okay? We've been told lots of stories of like hustle culture and all this other stuff of like how we're supposed to act and feel. That is not necessarily true for everyone, especially if you are a cycling human or female identifying. We have different times of the month where we have more energy and we have less energy, and it's time that we start really embracing that versus being like, oh, it's wrong for me to need 3 days of rest. It's not true, because the amount of work that you're going to get done in 3 days of having so much energy when the time is right, when you have all of that rest, is going to be way more productive because you're not forcing it, okay? So if you've been feeling a little funky, if you've been feeling tired, if you feel like you need more rest or alone time or just more nurturing, Libra, is ruled by Venus, and Venus to me is very like love. It's love. It is the planet of love. It's sensual. It feels like self-care. Maybe we're taking more baths. Maybe we need a massage. Like whatever you can do for yourself. Not everybody has the luxury of going out and getting a massage. I know that I don't usually because I'm so busy, which is also like my priorities and stuff like that. But just know that like self-care can be as simple as like doing a face mask or sitting in the bathtub or taking like an extra long shower or just anything, even meditation, okay? Find a way for it to work with your lifestyle, even if you don't have the luxury of time or money and resources and things like that. Find ways to bring yourself joy. Maybe you really enjoy cooking, make something you really like and like spend your time doing it. Anything you can do to nurture yourself. That feels like a really important aspect to touch on because I've really gone into it. So with that, we also have this really amazing energy of like sacred determination. Like I feel like there's the other side of this rest is being very, the word determined makes me feel like I'm pushing some type of like hard work narrative. That's not the case. Like determination is this belief, this wisdom, you just know. So for a lot of us, this sacred calling, what are we meant to be doing with our life? It doesn't mean that you have to be like a healer or a reader, anything like that. But like whatever you do, how you show up in the world, whatever your unique offering and gift is needed. Whatever it is, you may not feel like what you're offering is special. It is because it can only come from you. And I feel like being very clear on what feels good and what fuels us is really important at this time. So don't judge or compare yourself to others, and don't feel like it needs to be so extreme. Like everything is special, no matter how you look at it. Every role is needed for this, world to keep going around. You are needed. Your gifts, what you have to offer, what lights you up, what you're good at, whatever that is needed, okay? And staying very clear on that. We do have the energy of Pisces as well as Sagittarius coming through here. We have death in reverse, which to me is just kind of symbolizing the fact that we're kind of coming out of the actual death part of death and rebirth, and we're coming into the more rebirth aspect of it. We did just have the astrological new year with the Aries new moon, and now this is the first full moon of the astrological new year, and I just think it's so perfect the way that things are kind of unfolding, this beautiful, like uplifting energy of Libra, welcoming us into the first set of release and really looking at our relationships and, working with the planet of love, Venus. I just think it's kind of beautiful how things are unfolding. So letting the rebirth really happen, letting it happen, letting it be lifted. We're adapting to a lot of new shifts. So again, with the energetics and us feeling kind of like all over the place and wacky, we need more rest in order to like rebalance. We need that. We need whatever it is that we're feeling called to do. With that rest, I also feel this energy of feeling a lot more social. So there's both sides of it, and that's why I feel like this energy feels so wacky, because I feel like this calling to be like, I'm ready to get out and like go do something social and then like the next day need a total recharge day. That may not be how you are used to living. You may be used to just like kind of keeping it more like even, and now we're like social, and then we're like, okay, rest, social, rest. So like the energetics and the way that things are flowing are very different than how we've been living before. It doesn't make it wrong. I just want to point it out that like that's why things are not just kind of cruising like this anymore, because we're like, oh, social, and then we need rest. Anyway, you get the idea. We're adapting to all this new energy. I feel like we're ready to get after it though. We have like hunt and determination, but it's like in a sacred way. It's not in a forceful way. It's in a way of being very clear and intentional on what we're doing. And it feels like there's more ease with it as well. I feel like there's less of this energy of being like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing and I don't know how to get there. And there's more of like, I know, I believe, I trust, kind of pushing us forward. So I hope that you're feeling this too. And if you're not, that's fine. We're all on a different journey. So this may not be exactly something that you're exactly feeling in this moment, but have an open mind and open heart, because I do feel like this is something that we're going to all be experiencing. So again, with that energy of like being determined, I feel like now we've spent so much time figuring it out. Like I feel like the past like 3 months, honestly, even longer, 7 months, maybe even, that's kind of what I'm getting. I feel like the energies felt a little chaotic. So I feel like we have felt ungrounded. I feel like it just feels confusing. I feel like we've all been in like inside of a like static washing machine, you know, like it's just kind of like back and forth and back and forth. And it feels kind of like fuzzy and, you know, like the feeling of like static energy, just like prickly and weird and just not clear. Like foggy is a good word to describe it. And I feel like we're coming out of that now. I feel like we've been trying to find our way through a static washing machine, a washing machine full of static energy. That might make sense to some of you, I hope. But that's how it feels. I feel like we're coming out of it. And we've been trying to find our way through that, which has been so freaking hard. And now, because things are kind of a little bit more clear, the fog is lifting, I feel like as we're making plans, we're a lot more like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're not like, I'm confused and I don't really know how I feel and I don't really know what to do. We're like, I know what I'm doing and I know how to get there. We also, again, with love, partnerships, connections. This is the theme of energy right now. Oh, it's so beautiful and exciting because I feel like there's not really been a green light for many people in regards to love. This is, like I said earlier, relationships going to a new level, new relationships forming that are like long lasting, very aligned. And also being open to love. Like we've been in that healing process for a while now where we've been really reflecting on ourselves and like what we need to do in order to become better. These journal prompts are perfect for being very clear on that and kind of closing out that healing awareness and the phase of being like, what do I need to do in order to show up better in relationships? We're coming out of that. Obviously, healing is like a lifelong journey. So it's not like we're never gonna do this again, but the deep parts of it, I feel like we've been really invested in for a while. And now we're more open to it. And it feels like it's just abundant. Abundant is the most general word that I can use to describe how it feels with connections and relationships right now. There are so many ways that we can connect because everything feels very open and very clear. I also feel like we're all showing up more authentically, which makes it so much easier for us to find things that are good for us, whether it's partners, business partners, friends, whatever it is. When we're showing up authentically and we know ourselves and we're really like an acceptance of who we are, we're so much more attractive to that as well because it's clear. It's not confusing of like, I don't really know what this person wants. The universe is very like, oh, they know who they are, but you're very self-aware. It can find you. I do also feel like we're coming out of a time where we feel, this is a general theme coming over and over again. I feel like we're coming out of that time where we feel kind of stuck, that static energy that I was talking about, like being in a washing machine of static electricity. I feel like we're coming out of that. And I think that it's much more clear on like what we want now. That is a very big theme that I feel like I need to point out again. I feel like we finally understand what it is that we want. That comes with healing, that comes with getting to know ourselves, that comes with like, you know, spending time alone and being self-aware. That's a huge theme. As well as really earlier I got this message about how we've kind of all been minding our business, and these things are going to kind of just like pop up out of the blue. It's not something that we've been like desperately trying to call in. And I feel like that's a really beautiful thing to note on, because we've been working on our foundations, our business. We've been like working on our money and our passions and our homes, like ourselves, you know, creating that solid safety and foundation within ourselves and within our own worlds, that I feel like we haven't been like, what can relationships do for me, for so long, that now things are just kind of starting to happen and align, because you're actually in a perfect position for it. Okay. So this is a really good time to keep an open heart. This is a really good time to release anything that's holding you back when it comes to how you relate to others. This is a beautiful time to really accept that with open arms and with excitement. You're doing the work, right? If you've been in that washing machine, you know, you can't run from it. You've had to like deal with it and deal with it again and really look at it and look at it again. And I feel like it's just, I know there was a long time where we're like, I can't wait to get out of it. And now we're kind of coming out of it and it feels very exciting and new. You know, be really grateful. Be really grateful for what the time in the washing machine has taught you. Be really grateful for what the healing has shown you. Express that gratitude. We're going to do a guided meditation journey that is going to be very focused on this. And we're going to step into that here soon. Okay, so we are going to be stepping into the guided meditation portion of this workshop now. I want to prepare you that we're going to be doing like a deep dive into some of our deepest wounds and pain. So that can be quite intense. This is definitely going to embody some somatic release and practices as well. And this is something, just like all of this, that I really encourage you to revisit. You may not be able to get like really down beneath the surface on your first try. So let this be something that you practice over time. Again, don't push your limits. Like if you feel like this was a lot for you, give it a few days. Trust yourself with that. But I do encourage you to revisit it as many times as you want, because this is going to be a really powerful release and something that I think you should utilize in this time. Again, we're going to deep dive into some of our deep wounds and pain. We're going to find power in it. We're going to find gratitude in it. And we're also going to find some ways to like really lean into those emotions. So make sure you have a safe space to do so, where you're not going to be disturbed. And I also want to encourage you to grab like a pillow or a blanket or something that you can like squeeze or punch or hold on to, or even put over your face and like yell into. I hope I didn't lose you. I know that sounds really intense. Again, please only like journey into this as far as you want to, but this is powerful, because when we're releasing all of this, you may want to yell, you may want to cry, you may want to scream, whatever it is that you feel you want to express. Please allow yourself the space to actually do it, because this is how we release. This is how we move past these challenging emotions that are stuck within us. And this is a theme right now. Letting it go, right? Letting it go, finding our power in it, right? How powerful is it to lean into an emotion of anger and resentment and to like scream and yell and let it out, versus just like being like, oh, I'm angry. You have power when you're actually expressing this thing. So I hope I didn't lose you. Get comfortable. Again, revisit this as many times as you want to, and please allow yourself to go deep in this as you go. So it doesn't have to be today that you go really deep, but as you unfold and as you practice this, please let it be a safe space for you to release everything that needs to be released. Okay. So find a comfortable seat, get still, bring yourself into this present moment. You could rub your palms together if you want to. I really like to work with essential oils. And just find a comfortable seat. Whatever position feels good for you. And go ahead and just close down your eyes. Close them down. Take some deep but steady breaths with me. It doesn't need to be overly exaggerated. It just needs to be full and steady. Connecting to your body in a natural rhythm that feels good for you. Letting your exhales be full to the top, and letting your inhales go full to the top, and letting your exhales empty completely. Really trusting that space within the breath as well, knowing that you're safe, knowing that you will get your next breath. You can have the pause in between your inhale and exhale as long as you want. Just coming into the moment now, okay? So I just want you to imagine that you are in a safe space, whatever that means for you. Maybe it's your childhood home. Maybe it's exactly where you are now. Maybe it's the forest. Maybe it's the beach. Wherever you feel safe. It could be a place that you've never even been. Just imagine yourself sitting in that safe space. Feeling the warmth. Feeling supported and guided. Feeling the earth beneath you. Holding you and supporting you in this journey. Notice everything around you. What are the details? What can you see? What is surrounding you? What do you feel underneath your seat? Is there a breeze? Is there sunlight? Maybe you're covered with a blanket. Whatever you can notice around you in this safe space, just take note. Become fully present with it. Feeling held and supported and safe in this space. And now I really want you to feel into your body for a moment here, okay? Notice where there may be some stagnant energy. Notice where you may feel tension or a block. Notice where your attention is drawn. Is it in the heart space? Is it in the root at the base of your spine? Is it in your mind, your third eye, your crown, your throat? Where is this stagnant energy or this block? And start to notice whatever emotion comes with it, okay? Is it anger? Is it fear? Is it sadness? Really trust within your intuition to guide you into the energetics of your body and what's going on, scanning your body and noticing everything that's happening. Really lean into it. And if there's a feeling related to it, I want you to lean into what experience in your life, in relations with others, what has caused this emotion? Maybe it's a block in your heart space and there's an immense amount of sadness or a feeling of abandonment, and maybe that is connected to your last relationship when somebody decided to leave, or maybe it's connected to your relationship with your mother or your father when you were a child, when they chose to leave. Maybe there is a feeling of fear. Fear at a time when somebody inflicted harm on you or where you didn't feel safe, when you felt alone. Lean into that emotion. Feel it wherever it is in your body. If it's sadness, let it be felt. Cry, lean into it. Really revisiting that past version of you that experienced this. Giving so much empathy, compassion, and love to them at that phase. Maybe it's anger. Let yourself be angry. Grab the pillow, yell into the pillow, punch the pillow. Do whatever you need to feel to let this out. Maybe it's just a really heavy sigh. Let it out in whatever way feels right for you. Sending so much gratitude and love to that version of you that experienced this emotion. Gratitude for what it has taught you, gratitude for where it has led you, gratitude for the wisdom that it has given you. We're not looking back with resentment towards the experience, we're looking back with gratitude. Give thanks to that past version of you that had this experience, thanking them for forming you into this beautiful, beautiful person that you are now. Reminding them that they didn't do anything wrong, wasn't their fault, that this was an experience they had. And let whatever emotions come to the surface now, with no judgment. Let it out in this safe space, knowing that you are safe to express whatever is coming through organically for you. Just letting it all flow. And as you're sitting there observing this version of you, I want you to just give so much gratitude, pour so much love and gratitude into that past version of yourself. Thanking them so deeply. Letting them know that everything that they experienced was not in vain, and that who you are now is a beautiful, strong individual. Give so much gratitude for that experience. Release that weight and give gratitude. Find your power in this. Find your power. Your power is within your expression of this emotion. Your power is within this gratitude. Take it back. Let it all go and then take back your power. Hold on to that wisdom. Hold on to that freedom. And as we close it down, just continue to give gratitude that that past version of you, letting light be received through your crown chakra, down through all of your energetic system, all the way down to the base of your spine, clearing out any other stagnant energy, filling you completely with this beautiful golden white light of energy. From your crown all the way to the base of your spine, all the way into the earth, letting this be a channel of healing and a channel of clarity and truth and love. Knowing that that is always with you, it's always here to support you, the earth beneath you, the heaven above, that you are a channel of light connecting the two worlds of heaven and earth. You can start to open your eyes whenever you feel ready. You can stay here as long as you would like to. Again, please revisit this as many times as you would like and use this as a release. Don't be afraid to lean into these emotions. Go back to as many past experiences as you feel like you need to. Utilize this powerful energy of this full moon to release, to create space for all this beautiful new relating and love and connections and business partnerships and all this beautiful connection that's coming in. And give so much gratitude. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you that has taken this workshop. Thank you for being here. And I hope that this was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Let me know how this helped you. And I look forward to connecting with you again soon. My books are always open for one-on-one sessions, whether it's readings or healing work, whatever it is. You can check it out on my website if you're curious about what offerings I have. But they're all done one-on-one live via Zoom. Thank you so much for being here.